many of his chips to try and catch the flush draw, but John McCririck's playing very strong right arm, putting his chips in the middle, and that's winning him the pots. He's playing very good.
From strength to strength, off to the races here is McCririck. And he's coming up the outside. Look at that Manhattan. Red lines, of course, the ones he won, but it's those last two pots which have vaulted him into second position. 150,000.
Absolutely, he's just going to have to hope he doesn't fall at the last.
And it's become addictive when you win two pots in a row from bluffing, Gary. Does it become addictive to keep on playing, or what?
Absolutely, but you've got to realise the more you keep bluffing, the more the other opponents are going to actually realise that that's what you're up to. So
it's a good time.
Raises to 12,000.
Good time for McCririck to try and pick up a hand, but the raise has been from early position. Ace-5 for Matthew Stevens. That's McCririck's hand, and we could have some action here.
Call.
There's been a call by Teddy Sheringham, a call by John McCririck on the button, Sheringham with the Queen-Jack suited. Everybody's got a little bit of something.
Pass.
Except for
Pass.
Giddens, who wants no part of it, and Harrington, who says, you guys play, we're three-way here. And if an ace comes, Gary, there could be a lot of play between McCririck and Matthew Stevens. Flop is down, and the original raiser now has two players behind him and a little bit of thinking to do. Not the worst flop for Matt.
No, not at all. And
Check.
fortunately for him, he's none of the others have hit a pair.
25,000.
But the big problem is John McCririck has got 4 hearts.
Well, the bet has come from Teddy Sheringham. Matthew Stevens checked. Sheringham bet 25,000, which was a massive bet. And McCririck called quickly. You said it, Gary. He's picked up a flush draw. Little does he know that he's also got the best hand with ace-high.
Absolutely. So we're just going to have to see what the turn card brings. If the turn card brings a picture card that's red, we could be having some fireworks if it hits Teddy Sheringham's Jack-Queen.
So Sheringham on complete air. Not happy to get called there by McCririck.
Check. Check.
And now
Check.
Teddy has given up the bluff. Check, check, river to come. Sheringham needs a queen or a jack, but that 3 has made John McCririck an absolute monster.
And Matthew Stevens going to be very happy he passed his ace-5. Maybe not right now, but when he finds out what John McCririck's got, he's going to be happy he didn't try and hit this good shot straight that he's made.
Yeah, Stevens would have made a straight. McCririck's made a flush, and Teddy Sheringham has made a boo-boo here.
30,000. Raised up.
The bet is 30,000, and McCririck was not shy about sticking all his chips in. Is nearly the nuts he had, ace-high flush. There's a possible straight flush out there, but McCririck knew he was good. And Sheringham blew about 55,000 there, trying to bluff into McCririck.
Yeah, and John McCririck's now become our chip leader with that big pot. It's looking very good for John now. He's finally done the thing that he needed to do, which was to actually hit a real hand. And because of all his antics earlier on, he's managed to get himself paid. So
bouncing around in perfect unison, and that is the largest pot of the night. 155,000 won by John McCririck. Of course, Sheringham had won the big pots up to that date. McCririck well in front. And as the blinds go up, Gary, is it going to be the player who raises the most that wins, or is it going to be down to cards?
Once the blinds start going up, the longer the game goes on, the most aggressive player is the one most likely to win it. And at the moment, it's either going to be John McCririck with his big flash play, unless he walks into a hand. The only other person who looks like he's going to be doing could be doing a lot of stealing later on is Matthew Stevens. So we're just going to have to
Pass.
Well, Ed Giddens has been very tight so far, but he hasn't lost any chips because of it. Passed around now to Sheringham, who wants revenge on John McCririck. And with a king high, Teddy's got a chance. Flop to come here. Oh, I think it's still McCririck's option. I might be thinking about it with an ace, Gary.
Absolutely. Heads up, it's a big card, very dominating, but
is a raise the right play?
It would be for me, especially once the person's trying to get a free card. And it looks like he may have got himself into a little bit of trouble here.
Both players have hit a pair. Teddy Sheringham well in front with the 2 kings over the 2 sixes. And the action will be on Teddy first.
Yeah.
Gary, this is one of those hands where all the chips could go in.
Absolutely, especially the way John's been playing. Ooh, and he's laid a little trap for John.
20,000.
Very cautious check there, but I think the answer is coming. John McCririck betting 20,000 on what he perceives to be the best hand. And Gary, is Teddy just trying to figure out how to get all of John McCririck's chips, or does he think he might be beat?
I think
36,000 more, 56 total.
John McCririck's not the person to bluff, but he is the person to get paid off of.
36,000 was the raise. Excuse me, 16,000 was the raise. And this pot is very large right now. Teddy Sheringham has some chips left, but you have to imagine they'll be going in on the next card. And oh, this could mean the end of Teddy Sheringham. The 6 hit John McCririck nicely.
Call.
And Gary Jones, that was a huge blow for Sheringham.
Absolutely, he's really not going to be in a very nice position once he gets the cards on their backs.
There's still one card to come, but John McCririck sitting there like the cat that ate the catnip. This pot is 161,000, and when these cards get turned over, there'll only be 2 in the deck that can keep Teddy Sheringham in this tournament. Sheringham all in, 1 card to come, and if it is not a king, John McCririck will have taken a massive chip lead and will lose a player. River to come. It's a 3. Full house for John McCririck, and Teddy Sheringham out in 5th place. Gary Jones, is there anything that Teddy could have done to escape that hand?
Yeah, not get unlucky. Unfortunately, he's just walked into a man who's in form and not afraid to play his hand. So unlucky for Teddy, he's going to be walking.
The footballer impressed early on, but in the end, John McCririck topped him up. Sheringham out in 5th. Look at that last hand. When the flop came down, Teddy was loving it with the 2 kings. But the 6 on the turn sealed his fate. 3 6s, devilish hand, and a full house on the river for John McCririck. 6s full of 3s has beat Teddy Sheringham's 2 pair only.
It would have been nice to go on further. I was in a good position at one time, so I was looking forward. You know, I was thinking about going further, but that's what happens. You think you're going a little bit further, and end of the road.
It'll be Harrington first to speak, and Gary, if he doesn't put his chips in now, the big blind will take all his money the next hand. Harrington has folded. Matthew Stevens not so shy.
Raise it.
Raise to 25,000.
2 9-balls, 10 plus 15. That's a fair bet.
It's 20,000 more.
20,000 on McCririck, who is very amenable.
Pass.
He's found 2 overcards here, Gary.
Absolutely.
Giddens outside, and we are head-to-head here between the 2 chip leaders. Giddens sent his hand to the muck. Flop to come. And that is a powerhouse for Matthew Stevens. This might be one situation he can find a check on the flop, Gary.
Absolutely. I think if you're ever going to lay a trap, this is about as big a hand as you're going to flop to catch one.
Stevens with the full house said, I'll check. Don't have anything. Here
comes definitely let John McCririck try and catch up with these hands.
That jack has improved McCririck's hand slightly. Or in his mind it has. A queen would give him a straight. Little does he know he's drawing dead, Gary. No card will win him the pot.
Absolutely. The Queen is the card that he's rooting for, and little